Hello students, welcome to this class. Today I will discuss this theory of dielectrics. Dielectrics means nothing but an insulator. We have got insulators and conductors. Of course, a semiconductor is also there. Conductor is a good conductor of electricity, and insulator will not conduct any electricity. It will not contain any free charges to move. And in the case of conductors, for example, in metals, it contains free electrons. Electrons are which are free to move throughout the metal. But in the case of insulators, all the electrons are tightly bound to the respective atoms or molecules, so they cannot move freely. And insulators can be classified into two types. They are polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. In the case of polar dielectrics, the individual molecule will have an electric dipole moment, or individual molecule is an electric dipole. It has got a non-zero dipole moment. A very familiar example is that of water molecule. You might have studied the structure of water molecule in chemistry classes. I will show you the diagram of water molecule from Wikipedia. This is the shape of a water molecule. So this is the oxygen atom, which is shown in red color, and these are the hydrogen atoms. So in the case of water molecule, the effective negative charge will be situated somewhere here, and the effective positive charge will be a little bit uh, towards the hydrogen atom side, somewhere here. So dipole moment is directed from negative to positive. So in this direction. So in the downward direction, we will have a dipole moment, and the dipole moment of uh, water dipole moment is 1.8546 d by. This is d by, and 1 d by is 1 d by is 1 d by is 3.33 into 10 raised to minus 30 coulomb meter. It will be coulomb meter in SI unit. Q into 2L is the dipole moment. So Q is in coulomb and 2L is in meters. So it is coulomb meter, and dipole moment of water molecule is 1.85 d by. So in this article, you can see a table of polar and non-polar molecules. Generally, molecules of this type, given by general formula of this type, are having polar in nature. They will have a dipole moment. You can see the dipole moments here. For example, molecules with oxygen at one end, so H2O, it has got a 1.85 d by as the dipole moment. So various molecules are given, and this is taken from Wikipedia by typing the subject non-polar molecule. So these are some non-polar molecules. Very symmetric molecules will be definitely non-polar because the effective center of all the electrons will coincide with the effective center of all the nuclei of the molecule. So let us come back here. So there are polar molecules as well as non-polar molecules. There is an important physical quantity in the theory of dielectrics, and that is called polarization. Polarization. This is the polarization. Polarization is defined as the dipole moment per unit volume of the specimen. We can say induced dipole moment because when we apply some electric field, all whether it is a non-polar or polar, all dielectrics will acquire some dipole moment. So that dipole moment per unit volume is called polarization. A similar thing you will study in magnetism also. That is called magnetization. Magnetization is magnetic dipole moment per unit volume. So polarization is electric dipole moment per unit volume. So in the case of polar molecules, this diagram you can see, in the absence of any electric field, these dipoles are randomly oriented. All types of directions are possible. So total dipole moment in any particular direction will be zero. We know that dipole moment is a vector quantity. It is directed from negative to positive. So if you consider total dipole moment in any direction, it will be zero because of random orientation. But if a dipole is kept in an electric field, the situation is different. The dipole will be acted upon by a turning force or a torque, so that the dipole will align in the direction of field. We know that in the case of a magnet or magnetic dipole, when it is freely suspended, it will align in the north-south direction. That is it will align. That is it will align in the direction of Earth's magnetic field. Similarly, these electric dipoles will align in the direction of externally applied electric field. This is some externally applied electric field, and if that is zero, then polarization will be zero. Polarization is electric dipole moment per unit volume in any particular direction. So because of random orientation, this will be zero. Now it will not be zero because there is alignment. So the polarization P is not equal to zero. And in the case of non-polar dielectrics, what happens is, in the case of non-polar dielectrics, in the absence of any electric field, the effective center of positive charge coincides with the effective center of negative charge. That happens in the case of all the atoms. In the case of atoms, electrons are revolving around in orbits. So effective center will be at the nucleus, and the effective center of positive charge is also at the nucleus. That is for atom. For molecules, we have got atoms, a collection of atoms. So the nuclei are situated at different positions. So effective center of positive charge will be there. Effective center of all the negative charge will be there. And in the case of symmetric molecules like carbon dioxide, they will the effective center of positive will coincide with the effective center of negative. So there is no separation between positive and negative charges. So in that case, the total dipole moment will be zero. So you can see each molecule is having zero dipole moment. So dipole moment per unit volume is also zero. But if we apply an electric field, what happens is positive charge will be experiencing a force in the direction of the field, and electrons will be experiencing a force opposite to the electric field because they are having a negative charge. So there will be a separation when electric field is applied, a separation between positive and negative charges. So they acquire a dipole moment in polar case also, and in non-polar case also, we will get a polarization, non-zero polarization when an electric field is applied. When an electric field is applied, whether the dielectric is polar or non-polar, in both cases, what happens is we will get a polarization P, which is not equal to zero. So the material is polarized. So dipoles, polarized means dipoles are aligned in a particular direction. And in both cases, these materials can be replaced by a diagram like this. So effectively, this diagram and this diagram is equivalent to this diagram. And here in this diagram, you can see there are negative charges on one side and positive charges on the other side. And these charges are called induced charges or bound charges. Q bound. So QB and minus QB, that is the effect of an electric field on a dielectric. Now, how we are getting this negative charge on one side and positive charge on the other side when a substance is polarized? See, that can be explained in this way. You have a set of positive charges. You can see here. You forget about temporarily. You forget about these negative charges on the left end of the set of dipoles. So you consider these positive charges of this set of dipoles. And nearby you have got another dipole whose negative charge is very close to this positive charge. So this set of negative charges, they are close to the positive charges. So any effect due to positive charge will be cancelled by the effect due to all the negative charges. Similarly, another set of positive charges are here, and close to that we have got another set of negative charges. So any effect due to these positive charges will be cancelled by the effect due to negative charges. So that cancellation will occur, but finally there is no dipole on the other side to cancel the effect of these set of positive charges. So that positive charge is drawn here, and this negative charges is drawn here. So the total effect of polarization or alignment is the creation of a set of negative charges on one surface of the um, dielectric, and on the other surface an equal positive charge will be induced, and these charges are called bound charges. So it is written as q bound or qb, and qb and minus qb will be the induced charges due to polarization, or bound charges due to polarization. Now I will derive a relation between this polarization P and the charge density, actually surface charge density. This minus QB charge is distributed on the left surface of the dielectric, and the plus QB charges are distributed on the right surface of the dielectric. This is not a line, this is actually a surface, because the dielectric is actually a three-dimensional object. So we can consider this as a parallelepiped. So there will be a surface here and another surface there, and we will prove that this P will be equal to sigma. Sigma is the surface charge density. If sigma is the surface charge density, you can show that P will be equal to sigma. That can be very easily proved because the total dipole moment, we have seen that the entire thing can be replaced by this. So here we have got a plus charge and minus charge separated by a distance. So this is equivalent to a dipole. So total charge here, total positive charge here is QB, total negative charge here is minus QB, and they are separated by a distance L. So QB into L will be the electric dipole moment. So total electric dipole moment, uh, instead of counting all the dipole moments separately, we will just since this is equivalent to this, so the total dipole moment will be QB into L. So that is the total dipole moment QB into L, and dipole moment per unit volume is the polarization P, and what is the volume of the specimen or volume of the dielectric? If the dielectric is in the form of a parallelepiped having length L and area of cross section, I haven't shown the area here. If area is A and if the length is L, then volume of the specimen will be A into L. So total dipole moment is QB into L, and the total volume is A into L. So total dipole moment by total volume is dipole moment per unit volume, and that will be equal to the polarization P. So polarization P is, you cancel L in the numerator and denominator, then you will get QB divided by A. QB divided by A is the charge per unit area, so that is equal to sigma B, and B is for bound, because they are not free charges, they cannot move elsewhere, so they are bound charges, because these are insulators. This is produced due to rearrangement of charges. So they cannot these charges are not movable charges, they are called bound charges.